Number 2, your child is your responsibility. Job chapter 1, verse 5, Job thinks, maybe my kids have sinned. I'll offer a sacrifice and confess their sins to the Lord. You say, wait a minute, what is he doing? Taking responsibility for his children. Your children are not the school's responsibility. Your children are not the church's responsibility. Your children are not the police responsibility. Your children are not the rehab center's responsibility. You say, well, can I not use any of those things? You can, but you are primarily responsible for the well-being of your children. Your goal is not to raise a child who is moral, but a worshiper. Not just a kid who does the right things, but a kid who has a new heart. Not just a kid who is outwardly compliant, but inwardly loves Jesus. And this is incredibly important because for the sake of their own comfort and convenience, parents tend to just want a moral child to reduce the conflict and chaos so that they can have a better, easier life. That's not the goal. The children are your responsibility, so you're the first evangelist, got to tell them about Jesus. You're the first pastor, you got to raise them in the Lord. You're the one who is responsible for their overall care and well-being. They will live where you put them. They will eat what you feed them. They will worship where you take them. They will read what you hand them. They will find other families to follow and model themselves after, depending upon who you surround yourself with. Your sons are going to grow up and be like you men, and your daughters are going to marry men like you. And this is all your responsibility. And they have no theology, so you have to teach them. And they're very vulnerable to sin and predators, and so you need to protect them and watch whose house they go to and make sure they're not just doing random overnights, and make sure when the dating years come that you're not just saying things like, oh, I've loaded my shotgun, because I know that when men say that, they're trying to pretend that they have taken their position of leadership. You don't need to load your shotgun. You need to love your daughter. You need to know your daughter. You need to pray with your daughter. You need to walk with your daughter. You need to invest in your daughter, because the main thing is not to blow his head off, but to keep her heart. They're your responsibility. They're your responsibility. And government and institutions cannot do what a spirit-filled parent can. And we know that there's a real problem in the world when government and institutions are trying to separate children from their parents so that their identity and their sexuality is separated from their family. It's demonic.